Hello my dear learners, welcome back to this online learning platform of Basava Public School. Children, I welcome you to another session, part 2nd of the chapter Chandni, Zakir Hussain. Children, in previous session we have seen that the story starts with the Abu Khan character who was living in Almora village, and he was having a great love towards the goats. So, and he was taking caring goats as pets in his hut. He was a lone man who was living in his hut with his few pets, goats. But the problem is, though he was giving everything to his goats, he was here unlucky because the goats, after growing up in his house, because of they are hill breed, they love freedom, so they were leaving him one by one. When all his goats left him, he decided to not take care any more goats in his house and to live alone for the rest of his life. But he can't do it because of his love towards the goats. He brought one day a very young goat which is very beautiful, and she was having little horns on her little head and gleaming red eyes. Because of its young and beautiful features, he brought it to his house, to his hut, and he thought that it is very young, so when it start to living with me in its this young age, then she will not leave me alone and she will not go to the hill for the sake of freedom. For that reason, by thinking this, he brought this goat Chandni to his house and he named it as Chandni because of its beauty. Chandni means moonlight. So Chandni grew up in the hut of Abu Khan. She was very friendly with him. Whatever Abu Khan was saying him, she was following all the instructions. And Abu Khan used to tell stories to her every day about the sisters of Chandni, means the goats which he was taking care previously, and the goats which were left him alone for the sake of freedom, and they were killed by the wolf which is living in the hills. So he thought it will never leave him, but here he is mistaken. One day Chandni was, after passing many years, after growing younger in the house of hut, every day she was watching the hills which were bathing in the sunlight, and she started increasing her interest towards this towards these hill tops, and she stopped eating and behaving nicely with the Abu Khan. Abu Khan was unable to understand the reason. One day Chandni expressed her wish in front of Abu Khan that to go to the hilltops. Give me my freedom, I'll go to the hilltops. Then Abu Khan realized, understand the problem of Chandni. Then he warned her, after knowing the wolf which is living and who will eat you and kill you, then also you are wishing to go. Are you mad or what? Then Chandni replied, I know how to deal with that wolf because God has given me horns. I will fight with it. You just leave me. I want to go. Let's see what happens in the next part. To all this, Chandni had only one thing to say. I want to go to the hills. Abu Khan got very annoyed. He thundered, you are not going anywhere from today. You will live in a small hut. You are and not move about freely in the compound. Ungratefully as you are, you must still be saved from the wolf. He pushed her into a small hut and shut the door, but he forgot to close the small window at the back. The same night, Chandni made that window her passage to freedom. Children, after that conversation, after realizing the mistake, after conveying the dangerousness which is there in the hill, then also she was not ready to listen the words of Abu Khan. She said, I don't want to listen anything, you just give me my freedom, I'll go to the hills. Then Abu Khan was very annoyed, very irritated, and he felt that you are ungrateful for me, whatever I do for you. So now onwards, I'll not leave you to stand in my compound. I'll tie you, I'll shut you in the door, in the room. So he took her into the hut and tied her in a small hut and shut the door. Unfortunately, Abu Khan forgot to close the small window which the hut was having. So same night, Chandni made that window the way of towards her freedom and towards the hilltops. Chandni went back to the hills. She knew the wolf was somewhere there. She was ready to put up a good fight. That night, she left the Abu Khan hut and she went to the hill, and she was ready to fight with the wolf. Chandni reached the hills. It seemed to her that the old hills were standing in a row to welcome her. She felt like a child meeting her parents after years of separation. Wherever she went, the tall grass rose to embrace her, the flowers bloomed to amuse her, and the wind sang an endless song of welcome. How different all this was from her past in the prison house of Abu Khan's compound. It was the happiest day in the Chandni's life. Children, when she left the Abu Khan house, she reached to the hills. And there she seemed the hill was standing in a row and welcoming her. And she felt very happy, and also she felt as if she is a child who is meeting her parents after many years, after a great separation. She also expressed that the beautiful nature which she saw for the first time by being in a hilltops. Children, she felt the grass is welcoming her, the flowers are welcoming her, and the flowers and grass and every refreshing breeze which is blowing there was feeling as if they were singing song for her, welcoming song. And she also compared the beauty of the nature with the prison of Abu Khan, where she was not getting this kind of feelings. So that day when she reached the hills, she felt this is the day, happiest day in her life. That day she played for hours on the grassy slopes of the hills. She met a herd of wild goats who asked her to join their group. But Chandni politely refused. She wanted to enjoy her new freedom all by herself. So for hours she played there on the grassy slopes and also hills. She met a group which was moving, group of wild goats. They asked her to join in their group, but here she politely refused them. She rejected for the sake of freedom. Means if she is going to join in the group of wild goat, then she should follow their instructions. So she doesn't want to do that. She want to enjoy her freedom by herself. So politely she rejected the offer of wild goats herd. Next, the sun disappeared behind the hills, and soon darkness enveloped the grass, the flowers and the trees. The wind stopped blowing, and there was a stillness all around except for a strange sound which was coming from the bushes. The sound was like a grunt. What was it? It wasn't Abu Khan's voice calling her back to the compound, nor was it the voice of the another goat. Then Chandni thought of the dangerous wolf who lived in the hills. She left scared. Children, after spending many hours after playing complete day in the beautiful nature in the hills, then the sun disappeared. Then there was a darkness all over the grass, the flowers and the trees, and there was a complete depth of a silence except the sound which was coming from the bushes. Strange sound. She thought maybe it is a grunt. Maybe it is a sound of Abu Khan who is calling to her. And suddenly after that, she realized that maybe it is a sound of a goat, wild goat. Then also it is not wrong. Then suddenly she recalled that it is a sound of a wolf. Yes, she felt scared. Then should she go back to the safety of Abu Khan's hut? No, she said to herself. Death in an open field is far better than life in a small hut. The wolf had come out of the bushes and was staring greedily at Chandni. His eyes were shining like a burning coals in the darkness. He seemed in no hurry. He knew the new goat was his. Children, here in this paragraph, she herself asked once, shall I go back to my safety zone, Abu Khan's hut? Then her heart said to her that, no, you should not. And she said here, dying in the open field is far better than staying or having a life in a small hut. It means she referred dying in the hill instead of going and living with the Abu Khan. Then wolf appeared, and it appeared from the bushes and started to look or stare greedily at Chandni. Means it wanted to eat Chandni. And the wolf eyes were very shining like a burning coals. The wolf eyes were looking like a burning coals in the darkness. And he was seeming as if he is very hurrying to kill the goat and to eat him. And he knew that the new goat was his. The wolf and the goat seized up each other. The wolf was big and furious, ferocious, whereas the goat, though healthy, was small, but small is not weak. Chandni stood firm on her legs, head slightly bent and arms jutting out. She was a picture of a courage. She looked like a brave soldier ready to fight a treacherous enemy. I must put up a good fight, Chandni thought. Success or a failure is a matter of luck or a chance. Children, when the wolf arrived in front of her, then she stood very stiffly, and the wolf was very ferocious. Whereas in the same way, it is a small creature, but it is not weak. Means the Chandni is small, but she is not weak. So she stood very firmly, steadily on her legs and her heads, and she also bent her horns jutting out. She was looking like a picture of a courage. Because of her courage in front of wolf was commendable. She is looking like a brave soldier who is ready to fight with her enemy. So she also decided to give a tough fight to the wolf, and for her success or a failure is not a matter. It is a matter of a luck or a chance. Let me give a tough fight to the wolf. So she decided to give a fight to the wolf. The fight began. It went on through the night. The moon, which had been watching the fight, began to grow pale and suddenly hid behind the clouds. The stars also began to disappear one by one. A faint light appeared in the east, and the morning call for prayer came from a distant mosque. Chandni were fighting continuously. This moon was also looking at them, and suddenly it was also disappeared. And stars, one by one, they too started to disappear. And the light of the east fell on them, and also they heard the sound of prayer of from mosque. The first ray of the sun saw Chandni laying on the ground. She was completely soaked in blood. The wolf, tired and sleepy, was getting ready to devour her. Children, when the sun rays reached on first sun ray of the sun, saw the Chandni who was lying on the ground, and she was completely bleeding and soaked in the blood. And the wolf was also tired and sleepy and also ready to devour her or eat her. An assembly of birds perched on the top of a tree nearby was debating the result of the fight. Who is the winner? One of them asked. The wolf, of course, most of them said. A wise old bird declaimed with the confidence, Chandni is the winner. Children, after that, group of a bird appeared there and started to talk that who is the winner of this fight. One of the birds said, obviously the wolf. Then one of the wisest old birds said here that the winner is, he declaimed, and with the confidence he said the winner is Chandni, because of her courage and because of her braveness to fight with the wolf is commendable. So according to that old bird, Chandni is the winner, but unfortunately she was soaking in the blood and she is lying on the ground, and wolf is ready to eat her, but she did not die. Here she had given a very tough fight to the wolf. So children, here I complete the story explanation of Chandni, where we are going to learn the moral of, though you are a small, weak, but you have to not discourage yourself with your strength. You have to be firm, you have to be steady, and you have to have confidence on you and face every problem whatever comes in front of you. So children, the strength doesn't matter, the outlook doesn't matter. The matter is only that your courageousness, your braveness, your confidence which you have in yourself. So which Chandni was doing here, was done here. Great job to fight, to decide to fight with the wolf. She can also run away from that place, but she decided to fight with the wolf. Though she was unable to win the match, win the fight, but she is very good fighter for the wolf. This is the story of the Chandni. I hope you understand and enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching this video.